The Sony FX2 has been designed for video creators and filmmakers who demand uncompromising quality as well as creative flexibility. This compact cine camera comes equipped with a 33 megapixel back-illuminated Exmor-R CMOS sensor paired with a Bionz XR processing engine, as well as an advanced AI processing unit that provides real-time autofocusing to ensure that your subject is kept razor sharp and perfectly framed at all times. Now, I could waffle on, I already have, about all of the specs, but I'm going to get right into what makes this camera tick. In just a minute, I've got to reposition the camera somewhere else, so that I can't do everything here. The first thing that I wanted to go through is the AI processing unit, which delivers fantastic real-time recognition autofocus for humans, animals, birds, vehicles, and even insects. And I have to say that the subject recognition on the FX2 is absolutely outstanding. Like I said, you can select individual targets, but pretty much the entire time I've had it, I've just left it in auto, and it's had no problem recognizing whatever subject I'm pointing it towards. If I see a dog, it recognizes the dog. If I see a bird, it recognizes the bird. I think you get where I'm going. Another fantastic feature of the FX2, especially for solo creators like myself, is the auto framing mode. I want you to bear in mind how stupid I am about to look doing this, okay, for you. This is best used mounted on a tripod, and when this mode is enabled, the camera automatically crops and tracks a subject to ensure that they are always the main focus of the footage. This allows you to add some movement to your footage and is also perfect when the camera operator is moving alongside the subject. Done. Enough. Subscribe for that. Something that I absolutely love about the FX2, especially when using it in conditions like this, is the 3.68 million dot tiltable EVF. I don't know why I felt the need to actually demonstrate, putting my eye towards the tiltable EVF. The thing is, I wasn't even actually filming anything at that point, but, for demonstration purposes and that. First of all, it really helps me to immerse myself in what I'm shooting. There are many distractions out here. It's also very bright. So being able to just put my eye up to the EVF and just immerse myself in the scene is incredibly helpful. I held my eye to it a bit too long there, I felt. But it also provides that extra point of contact. So it just helps me when I'm shooting handheld to keep everything that much more stable. The viewfinder itself can be rotated from 0 to 90 degrees for easy viewing at just about any angle, and the eye cup can also be removed or reversed left to right as necessary. While we're on the subject of image stabilization, I think we'll go into that next. Well, I say next now. So I already mentioned the AI processing chip installed within the FX2, and that also gives us the ability for active and dynamic active modes when it comes to stabilization. Active mode is a great choice for walking and shooting, while dynamic active mode is perfect for capturing footage at a faster pace. When you combine this with shooting via the EVF and that extra point of contact, you can get amazing handheld footage in most situations. So there you go, that footage there was taken single-handed while holding the GoPro while I was doing it. So I think that's pretty good. I think that speaks volumes for the stability of the camera, not me. Lord knows. Pretty impressive, I'm sure you'll agree. However, I think it's worth pointing out that both the active and dynamic active modes are using electronic stabilization, so there is a significant crop, yes. So there is a crop applied to each, especially with the dynamic active mode. However, I think that's a price worth paying. I'd much rather have buttery smooth, stabilized footage than not. Now, obviously, the FX2 is primarily a cine camera, so I think it's worthwhile going through some of the video capabilities. It's capable of recording 4K footage at up to 60p and up to 422 10-bit internally, and as high as 16-bit RAW externally via the HDMI output. It is worth pointing out that when you're shooting at 4K 60p, however, that this is essentially Super 35, so there is a significant crop applied to the footage. 4K 30p and below, you're using the full sensor. When shooting an S-Log3, the camera can deliver over 15 stops of dynamic range for even greater flexibility in post-production. Along with S-Log3 is support for S-Cinetone, and there is also room for you to import up to 16 custom LUTs. It's possible to shoot up to 120 frames per second using full HD, and there's also a handy little switch on the back here to be able to effortlessly go between movies and stills with ease. Before I end this video, let's just go through a couple of other noteworthy features of the FX2. First of which is the built-in cooling fan. This allows you to record for pretty much as long as you need to, but it is of course dependent on the power source that you are using. So obviously if you're just using the battery power, you're restricted to that, but I think you get what I'm saying. And a very useful feature for cinematographers is the Big 6 home button. This is already featured on their high-end Cine Alta cameras, and this allows you to easily monitor 6 parameters in moving mode, such as frames per second, ISO, shutter, aperture, ND filter, look, and white balance. And it's also possible to mount numerous accessories easily with support for cages and optional components. So I think that I've done about everything that I'm going to do with the camera for today. What did I think? So that's all the time that I got with the FX2. What did I think? Well, first of all, the subject recognition and the auto tracking is absolutely fantastic. I was blown away by how effortlessly it just tracked everything. I was kind of joking around earlier while using the auto tracking, but it is an incredibly useful feature, especially for a solo creator. It just brings some energy and momentum to the footage. Then of course you've got the tiltable EVF. I really enjoyed using this a lot. Just allows you to block everything out, allows you to immerse yourself in what you're filming, and once again gives you that extra point of contact for extra stability. And the stabilization on this thing is absolutely amazing. And I was doing most of this, as I pointed out earlier on, I was using it one-handed, just eye up to the EVF, and it was just outstanding, amazing. I was very impressed with the stabilization overall, however. The dynamic active mode gave you buttery smooth footage. It does come with a crop, but I think that is a sacrifice well worth making for the footage that you're getting for it. The only real downside, I guess, is that when you're filming 4K 60p, you do have a significant crop applied to it, essentially in Super 35, which is a bit of a shame that you're losing that amount. As I mentioned earlier, you can get up to 120 frames per second while using full HD. If you did want that sort of frame rate while using 4K, then you'll probably be better going for the FX3 instead. However, the stabilization and the tracking that you get with the FX2, I think, is well worth it. Something I didn't really go into too much in the video, this is actually a decent stills camera as well. Obviously, it's dedicated toward film. That's the whole point of the camera. However, if you were looking for more of a hybrid camera, then perhaps the A7 Mark IV would be a better option for you. It doesn't have quite as good video specs, but other than that, it's a great choice. However, if it's purely video specs that you're going for, the FX2 is an outstanding camera. As I've already mentioned, the tracking capabilities are absolutely fantastic. The footage is buttery smooth, and it's just, yeah, it was a joy to use. That EVF is just amazing. So I think I've covered just about everything, but if you do want even more information, make sure that you click the link in the description and leave a comment on what you think about the camera. Until next time, I'll see you then. People just shouting in the background. I'm trying to film a review here.